I'm
So,
curious, Armando, your take on the private school versus public school in terms of learning for students.
Well, I'll
that's
tell
a
you.
great question.
Here's what I have observed. You can't just say compare all private schools versus all public schools.
Okay.
Every school is different. There are very good public schools, some not so good. There are very good private schools, others actually not so good. Generally, people think that private schools are better because one, you pay for it. You're going to have generally smaller class sizes. That means more individual attention from the teacher, and also they don't have to follow state mandated curriculum. They can have their own curriculum. So that's what people think all the time, but that's not always true. Okay, you mentioned Common Core. Well, when Common Core math came out, what happened was it was implemented into the schools. A lot of private schools adopted Common Core also. You see, so it's not just private school versus public schools. You see,
It's got to be a specific school versus a specific school to do a proper comparison.
well, yes, but even within the same school, it depends on the teacher too. See, some teachers, I think, as a general rule, they really get into teaching because they like kids, they want to help, they want to really create a good effect in society by helping kids. Okay,
Yeah.
I think they have like a big heart. They really want to try to do well.
Right.
But I'm sure you've seen where a lot of teachers are actually leaving the field. Okay, they're leaving. It's very very they get very disillusioned. They're upset because they want to help kids
Yeah.
and they can't. They have curriculum that's demanding. They have to cover a lot of material. I'll give you an example. When I went to school, which was just after the dinosaurs, it was like a long time ago. Learning your math facts, okay, knowing 2 plus 5 and 3 times 9 and all these things. You spent hours and hours practicing, okay, until you memorized them all. And then there were, in school, there were contests to see who knew them. And you really worked on that was the emphasis, is the depth of understanding first. First you understand, and then there's practice and memorization. See, getting back to what you said earlier, if you practice and learn something, but you don't really understand it, you're not going to keep it. If you understand it, but then you actually practice, now it can stay with you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, most high school students do not know what 7 times 9 is. Okay.
Wow.
No, they don't. They have to actually bring up their calculator, bring up their phones. They have to actually, they don't know these math facts. You see, so
Something was missing. Something was flawed in the education process.
Well, what happens is the approach is now covering more subjects, more things. Okay, as opposed to really learning them well and moving on to the next thing and really learning that well. They're covering a lot of material, but the problem is that you have a lot of kids that are left in the dust and they don't know what's going on and they're confused.
So the better question wouldn't be public school versus private school, but it would be, from your perspective, what would be something a parent can do to look at a specific school and say this is a good school, and see another one and say this isn't? Like, what do they look for? Do they have to interview the teachers? What do they do?
There are ratings online for all the different schools. Okay, you can go online. There's different websites that have ratings. But what a parent should do all the time is, see, you can't just go by, okay, Johnny's off at school. Okay, it's up to them now, and they take over. You can't do that.
Involvement.
No, you have to be involved,
Right.
engaged, and see, what is little Johnny learning? Are they understanding? Are they doing well? Some schools and some teachers have the philosophy of not giving a lot of homework because they say it's not productive. Okay, all right, that may be, and you have others that actually give way too much homework. You say, but really the bottom line is, is the child learning? Are they gaining? Are they able to do something with it? You see, and if here's the thing: if you learn, if you're really learning is actually fun. Anything that you learn how to do. I mean, kids, all the time. Look, mom, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. They get excited when they learn how to do something, and that's true all the time. If you learn how to do something good, you want to show it off to your friends.
Yeah.
You see, if there's something that you don't know how to do, and you're being forced to do it, it's very upsetting. It can be very aggravating, and so that's why you have some kids that don't like going to school. They don't like particular subjects or certain classes or topics or whatever, and it's not because they don't like to learn. There's things that they're confused about, things they don't understand. So a parent has to monitor these things. What are they doing? How are they doing this? Are they learning?
Yeah.
Is the kid happy?
Yeah.
Do they enjoy going to school?
You just said something really important, and it's that learning is fun.
Yes,
If we can get that message out there, learning is fun. You're
If done
learning
correctly.
something new.
If done correctly, learning
Yeah.
is always fun.
Correct.
You see?
Yeah.
You learn how to, do something on a car. You're a mechanic. It's like, oh, wow, I know how to do this now. This is great. Okay?
That's correct. That's correct.
Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If you learn how to do something and you can do it well,
Yeah.
you feel good.
Of course.
You see?
Yeah. You feel proud about yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're in a classroom, you imagine a little kid, you're in the classroom, the teacher's talking about, numerators and denominators and working on the quotients and blah, 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 all these things. These are all math things that
Yeah.
you basically learn in elementary school.
Sure.
But if the teacher doesn't really explain what these things are, it goes over their head,
Right.
and they're frustrated, they're upset. So
Absolutely.
what students do is they just memorize whatever the teacher does. Oh, I can do that. They do the same thing, and then they do it on their homework, turn it in, do it on a test, turn it in. They might do okay, but they don't know what they're doing or why.